Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I'll be presenting my research on student absenteeism and lack of interest in Malaysian schools for EDU 550 case study course. First, let's start with the objectives of the study, right? So, first, I intend to research the reasons behind student absenteeism and disengagement, as well as the strategies teachers use to address these issues. This topic is crucial because absenteeism and disengagement are persistent problems in Malaysian education, affecting students' academic performance and future opportunities. Second, I choose this topic because it's highly relevant in current times. For example, a recent news article by the Star highlighted that over 10,000 students skipped the SPM 2024 Bahasa Melayu paper, which is alarming because if you have skipped the Bahasa Melayu paper, then that means you fail the whole entire SPM straight away. This shows that absenteeism is not just a small issue and it should be addressed. It's a systemic problem that needs immediate attention. Finally, so the objectives of my study are three. So the first one is to explore the reasons behind student absenteeism and lack of interest in Malaysian schools. Second, to identify effective strategies teachers use to motivate disengaged students and improve attendance. Three is to analyze the role of parents, school environment, and teaching methods towards students' absenteeism and also lack of interest. So now let's move on to the literature review, right? For this study, I used two key theoretical perspectives. First is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This theory explains that students may skip school if their basic needs like safety, belonging, or self-esteem are not met. For example, if a student feels lonely or unsupported at home, they may lack the motivation to attend school. Second, the self-determination theory. This theory emphasizes that the importance of autonomy, competence, and relatedness in motivating students. When students feel empowered, capable, and connected to their peers and teachers, they are more likely to attend school and engage in learning. I also reviewed three research articles published within the 5 or 6 years, if I was not mistaken. So the first one is these three studies highlights that parental involvement is a major factor in reducing absenteeism from Ahmad et al. 2020. Second, interactive teaching methods like gamification and technology integration significantly improve student engagement. Lee and Wong 2021. And third, school support systems such as counseling and mentorship programs play a critical role in addressing absenteeism. An article from 2019. Next, let's discuss the methodology that I use for my study, right? So the first one is we're going to discuss about the method that I use. Okay, I've conducted qualitative research using semi-structured interviews with two teachers, one with 16 years of experience, which is my own uncle, and another one with 3.5 years of experience. Okay. Second, for the sampling, the teachers were selected based on their experience, right? Because one is 16 years of experience, the other one is 3.5 years of experience. So one is a veteran teacher and the other one is a novice. This actually allowed me to compare their perspective easier and a lot more clearer. Okay, so the third one, about the data collection procedure. These interviews were conducted face-to-face and recorded and then later transcribed for analysis. So each of these interviews, the first interview lasted about 80 minutes. The second interview lasted about 12 to 13 minutes, if I was not mistaken. And so last, for the interview questions, the questions focus on the reason of absenteeism, obviously, and strategies to motivate students, and the role of parents and school in these issues. For example, I asked questions like, what are the common reasons for student absenteeism, and how do you make your lessons more engaging to make these students that are struggling with absenteeism to come to school and indulge in your lessons. And those are some of the examples of the questions that I asked. So this methodology ensured that I gathered in-depth insights from both of the teachers' experiences. Okay, so now let's move on to the findings, the data analysis and the discussion. So we're going to dive into the findings of my study. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the similarities and the difference between the two teachers, right? So the first teacher is a veteran teacher and the other teacher is a novice teacher. So both teachers seems to agree that lack of parental involvement and financial constraints are major reason of absenteeism. However, the veteran teacher emphasized strict measures like involving the police for extreme cases, while the novice teacher focused on building personal connections with the students instead. So second, if we're going to talk about the main findings, the first one is lack of parental involvement. Okay, so many parents don't prioritize education basically nowadays, leading to students themselves skipping schools. Second, engaging teaching methods. That's what we need. Teachers use games, technology, and the real-world examples to make lessons more interesting. Third, school support system. This is very important because not only teachers only cannot really make a difference if it's not supported by the school themselves. So counseling and mentorship program really help students feel valued and motivated to actually go to school. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some of the support from literature. These findings align with previous research that I mentioned just now. For example, Ahmad et al. From 2020 found that parental involvement is crucial, while the other article, Lee and Wong from 2021 highlighted that the effectiveness of interactive teaching methods. So in summary, absenteeism is a very complex issue that requires collaboration between not only teachers, but teachers, parents, and schools themselves. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the last part, which is the conclusion and the recommendation, right? So let's conclude with the key takeaways and recommendations. So first, summary of the findings. Absenteeism, we agree that absenteeism is caused by a combination of family issues, financial constraint, and lack of engagement from parents. And second, teachers use personalized support, interactive teaching methods, and school programs to address these issues, which is absenteeism. So what about the future research, right? So future studies could probably explore more on the long-term impact of absenteeism on students' career prospect. And more research is needed on how technology can be used to engage students in rural area specifically. So for the recommendation, schools should strengthen counseling and mentorship programs more. Parents need to be educated on the importance of education, and they need to be involved in their children's schooling. And last but not least, the Ministry of Education should provide more funding for schools in rural areas and train teachers in innovative teaching methods. So in conclusion, addressing absenteeism requires a very holistic approach involving all stakeholders, right? Just like how I mentioned just now, not only the teachers are involved, not only the students, but the schools and the parents themselves. So I think that is all from me and for my case study for this time. So thank you for attention, and yeah, that is all. Thank you.